Black Panther, Luke Cage, Miles Morales, Storm, Blade, Static Shock, Jon Stewart, Vixen, Blue Marvel, Falcon, Black Lightning, Riri Williams, Icon, Shuri, Aqualad, Dr. Mist, Mosaic, Brother Voodoo. Those are some of the black superheroes that I know. And I could probably list about, I think 50. I think I got 50 inside of my head. I just wanted to say this before I began talking about this guy, Captain Durag. Captain Durag's partner is a snow bunny. I'm not joking about that. That is exactly what it is, from a series called Hey AJ. And it was made by the writer Camille Corbett. It's this woman right here. Camille Corbett made it. It's a black woman. I believe she's Caribbean in some aspects. But I just want to give you an idea of what Captain Durag does. So Captain Durag cleans up crime around the city. He cleans against slime. And that's basically what he does. And a lot of people had a crazy outlash to this. And this is very important because I want to talk about this because it means something to me. Have you ever seen a post on the internet and you see a bunch of people not sharing it because it has the N-word in it, and people say, oh, I can't share it because it has the N-word? You are technically hurting black people by not sharing the status because that could be their bag if they're a content creator. Excessive white guilt can cause people to not click on a lot of things, and a lot of people may not enjoy Captain Durag because of a lot of white guilt. But I've seen a lot of black people mad about Captain Durag, I've seen a lot of white people mad about Captain Durag, and I've waited to talk about this for a while so I can get the full spectrum of ideas behind this. And back on the idea that I'm harping on when it comes to promoting black creators, or at least people when they share a status that has the N-word in it, and then another white person will argue with that person and say, you can't share this status, it has the N-word in it. If you share the status that has the N-word in it, you're basically saying you the N-word in it. The same thing that happened with Mr. Beast, where he said one N-word versus 100 gorillas, and then he said, I can make this a video idea, and then everybody said, Mr. Beast, you're saying the N-word by sharing the status with the N-word in it. And it hurt that guy's bag. It really hurt that guy's bag because he was very upset. He said, Mr. Beast shared my status and you guys SJW'd him and had taken down the status, which could have gotten me a lot of publicity, and you guys wanted to be so politically correct. You're actually harming people in the process of being politically correct. It's really insane. And this goes into deeper about the aspect of the N-word and all this stuff, and I don't want to talk about that right now. I just want to talk about Captain Durag, but that's what I'm talking about right now. Captain Durag wanted to be clever. I know it did. It's a hero with a durag as a cape. That sounds so cool to me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it sounds so cool to actually get the word durag out there instead of being a silk wig cap, because I've seen this amalgamation of the use of durags be used as silk press wig cap, and the population of gentrification has been stupid and I hate it so much. It looks cool. It's a new shirt. People genuinely believed it was about to say something sharp and playful about culture, and that original spark mattered. It did, and that spark was real. The thought that said, what if we made a black superhero rooted in everyday texture instead of this cosmic royalty and multiverse jargon? It was a good thought. It was a thought worth having, worth exploring, worth building a house around. But I think the execution and the showcasing of outrage culture destroyed everything. That's what I think. Instead of trusting subtlety, instead of grounding the character in lived textures and the small specificities that make a person feel like a person, the execution leaned hard towards loud symbolism, and that symbolism buckled the instant it hit the internet, because it's a cool idea. I think it's a very cool idea. And then people just saw the design and ran with that design. The whole thing to me about satire, it needs to know where it's standing. It needs to know who's in the room, who's telling a joke, who's laughing. When satire stops winking and starts pointing at itself with both hands, when it starts elbowing you in the ribs and starts asking if you get it, do you get it, isn't this clever, it loses the room. And then that's what happened. But this isn't satire. I'm pretty sure this was genuine. It was purely genuine. But the sidekick being a literal snow bunny is where everything just kind of goes crazy. People just said, oh, snow bunnies, eh? A black man with a snow bunny. And it gets crazy. It feels disgusting. It feels as if it's exploitation. And this is the part where I was talking about. A black woman made this character, right? She probably didn't think anything of it. She probably thought to herself, okay, black people wear durags. This would be cool. This would be fun. This would be great. And then people had this visceral reaction thinking that a white executive pushed this idea, this narrative. And the reason it got greenlit was because a black woman made it. The reason it got greenlit is because a black woman made this entire character. That's the whole thing. And then it got flattened into memes, flattened into cultural reference points, flattened to this thing. People didn't even watch the Hey AJ episode because the episode was about cleaning. It was about Hey AJ cleaning. That's the whole thing. It was about, hey, if you got a do-rag, you're wearing purple, and you see that, this guy really cares about cleanliness. That was the entire premise, and I'm pretty sure that was the idea behind the entire thing. But people saw the design and said, disgusting. I already have my preconceived notions. I'm not even gonna give this an idea. A black man as a janitor? Yeah, that's most black men. Look at Craig Robinson in The Office. Yeah, Craig Robinson's there. He's there. There's also another black character that is not a janitor. Nope, Craig Robinson. Craig Robinson's the janitor. That's Craig Robinson. You probably know Craig Robinson from a lot of movies with Seth Rogen. He was in This Is the End. He was also in Hot Tub Time Machine. One of my favorite actors. I love Craig Robinson a lot. He's an amazing man. One day I hope to meet him. He reminds me of a dad. A nice, gentle dad. But janitor. Boom. Black people are janitors. That's what happens. Or security. You're the janitor or security. That's why Luke Cage is so prevalent. Luke Cage can stop bullets because he's security. Oh, that's the whole thing. Crazy work. The cape being a durag sounds so cool to me. I think I may be alone in that, right? Symbolism can be powerful in many ways. The whole identity, which comes from this aspect, it feels nice. A superhero should feel like someone who exists even when the costume is off. Should feel like they have a life beyond the frame. But I feel as though people just saw Captain Durag. He doesn't get that chance. Everything about him reads as branding. It's just branding. Oh, he's got a durag. He's wearing purple, and Prince had purple, and black people are associated with purple, and Crown Royalty is purple, and Crown Royal is a drink, and he must love Hennessy. Oh, that's what I got. Word association to the highest degree. It's insane work. I've seen so many horrifyingly weird takes about this entire situation, but I think it's cool, and I feel like I'm alone in this, right? Okay, picture this, right? Imagine a black guy playing spades, if we could for a second. A black protagonist in sweats, a wife beater, durag on, gold shining, beef and broccoli in one hand, walking into a spades tournament. He's winning through wit and determination, and everybody else is trying to play a serious card game, and he's using ebonics the entire time. And he wins. And he wins. The whole story is that he wins. He doesn't fall into the diaspora of white exceptionalism, and he's not doing that when black exceptionalism is draped in white culture, where you have to wear we wear coat of V's, wear coat of V's and drink matcha. They don't fall into that. They don't fall into the black exceptionalism trend. They make their own root in exceptionalism. That's what they do. Black royalty and black richness looks different than white richness because they carved their way out. They live in their afros. They live in their dreads, their locks more so, as opposed to dreads, because dread is a horrible word. You should say locks instead of dreads. Realistically, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then you have cornrows, and they live within their hairstyle and their culture, and they don't wear suits. They wear what they want to wear. They wear a different kind of thing. They wear suits that are built by black women, or in the aspect of maybe it's a part of their hair as well. Maybe that's the thing. But you know what they see? They see humor. They see humor. Would it trigger accusations of racism? Absolutely. Would people lose their mind? Of course, if they saw that situation with a durag and a beef and broccoli. It would be funny as hell. Humor lives in confidence and specificity. That's what it lives in. Humor lives in the details that couldn't be invented, only observed. Humor lives in the difference between look at this stereotype and this guy owns the room anyway. That is where humor lives in the real world. That's what it is. That version works because the joke isn't in the stereotype. The stereotype is the furniture. The joke is the person sitting in it. Comfortable, unbothered, unbeatable. The joke is the humanity that transcends in the shorthand. That's what it is. But Captain Durag didn't get the chance to do that because Captain Durag just kind of pops up. They saw the design and said, Durag? Black? Cape is a durag, because that's the cool. I'm gonna cosplay this character is what I'm gonna do, because he seems cool. But I don't want to discredit from all the other black superheroes. I really don't. But that's kind of what this does. Crazy part about this whole thing is that this is a kid's show. This is a Disney show. This is a kid's Disney show. Captain Durag is a joke to a lot of people. He's cleaning slime, saving the city, doing generic superhero things. That's what he's that. He's not a person having an experience. He's a character in a kid's show. And that's why the outrage hits so hard, because his design is him. That's what it is. I hate that the backlash spills outward, right? It's gonna poison the well for other black superheroes who are actually doing interesting, grounded, or mythic work. Instead of conversations about power, about the infinite variety of black hero narratives, everything gets derailed. Everything becomes arguing about whether this one concept was offensive or iconic or misunderstood or just clumsy. Captain Durag is the headline. It becomes the example, becomes the thing people point at when they want to dismiss the whole category, and suddenly black superheroes as a whole get treated as if a gut punch because people love the tribalism of taking one black idea, one black thing, and making that the entire voice of the whole culture. Many black people will disagree with me on this thing. That does not mean every black person is a monolith about their opinion. Every black person is an individual, but we are treated as a commodity of collection, and that is nasty. And that's not fair. It's not fair to creators who are building characters with care, with weight, with longevity, characters who breathe, characters who exist beyond the frame, characters who can walk into a room and own it without needing an explanation themselves first. That's what it is. This is how representation is so trivialized. It's malice, it's hatred, but it's also clumsy execution. Good intentions paved into caricature, but you're forgetting that a person comes first, always, and the symbolism serves them, not the other way around. This is insane to me, how this is all over a kid's show. When one loud caricature dominates the conversation, it makes it easier for critics to dismiss the entire category as unserious. It's shallow. It's worth not engaging with. The damage lingers longer than any outrage cycle over and over again. It lingers because it reinforces the idea that black superheroes are novelty acts instead of cornerstones. They're optional instead of essential. That's the entire idea behind them. And that loss doesn't belong to one character. It belongs to the culture around him, to the kids who might have seen themselves, to the creators who might have been inspired. I know so many black kids who wear durags, and they would love if a superhero wore a durag. That'd be great. It'd be fun to see. Captain Durag could have been great. Genuinely, the core idea wasn't broken. It was probably mishandled, rushed, and it was hit into this weird, disgusting amalgamation of outrage cycle. It's disgusting. I say ground him, humanize him, let the culture exist naturally instead of being screamed through a megaphone. Let it breathe the small moments, the quiet moments, the moments between the jokes, and the humor would land without flattening the message. The humor would land because the person underneath would still be there, standing there, solid, real, and worth knowing. And you gotta do it in 30 seconds because people are stupid. I hate to say it. People are so dumb. People don't have the idea capacity or the bandwidth to actually wait and sit with an idea for more than 20 seconds without actively looking for a YouTube explanation video about what it actually is, or going to TikTok to get their own interpretation, and listening to 30-second unverified opinions from people who don't have a dime of reason or wrench about them besides the fact they got a bunch of views, and you're curious why they got a bunch of views. So you're sitting around for the video and you don't actually want to watch the video, but it has a bunch of views, so it must be good at some point. So you just watch it because the views are big, and you suck. That's horrifying. Outrage thrives where care is absent, where thought is absent, where the time taken to see someone is skipped in favor of time taken to reference them. Subtlety is usually the first casualty, and that's disgusting. Subtlety is always the first to go when speed replaces the deepness of a certain situation. Reaction will always replace the reflection within our own selves. That's how we work as humans. If the goal was to celebrate culture, the execution needed to trust it enough to let it breathe, needed to trust the audience could handle complexity, and needed to trust that a person fully drawn is always more interesting than an idea fully explained. Instead, we got a caricature that overshadows everyone else, and this is disgusting, and I hate this discourse so much, and it's so stupid. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about Captain Durag if you even watched the episode, because I had to go watch the episode to go figure out how to watch that. That was sucky. Anyways, have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your nigga night, be my lower, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.